A lot has been spoken and written about disruptive technology these days. Last few years, uh, buzzwords like AI, ML, RPA, chatbots are going around the round, and everyone is trying to get into this space for last few years. However, when pandemic came, this was the biggest disruption of the century. It threw businesses and lives out of gear. Sudden urgency to fast track all these digital disruptions started happening. Everyone was in a hurry to replace manual work with robots, with ML, and with chatbots. Everyone has started talking about what happens after pandemic is over. Will we go into a hybrid work model? Will we work from home? Will facilities be decentralized? Everyone has started talking about what would be the life of an employer and an employee post-pandemic. We are seeing a great resignation era happening. I would rather call it a great hiring era because every resignation is followed by a hiring. But anyways, I mean, every organization, every employee, every manager is getting into debates of hybrid work culture, new job opportunities, decentralized work environment, and whatnot. In my personal view, this will be a new normal going forward, and we all will get used to it very, very soon. Today, what I would want to actually do is talk about a post-pandemic era. I mean, what happens to an outsourcing agencies or what happens to BPOs, say 5 to 10 years from now. I would like to believe that post-pandemic nuances would be over in next 1.5, 2 years. But what happens after that? How outsourcing industry would look like 5 years from now or 10 years from now? So today, next 10, 15 minutes, I would want to spend some time actually talking about 5 to 10 years from now when it comes to outsourcing. Many of us typically take a small walk after lunch in and around office. I would like you to imagine a world where you can actually go to moon for a walk after lunch. Think about it. These days, on a typical work day, we and our spouses are in office, our kids are in school, our parents are at home, probably watching TV or spending time with their neighbors and colleagues. We hardly spend time with each other over lunch and dinner. I would like you to imagine an era where during a typical work day, when you are in office, your kids are in school, your parents are at home, would you not want to have a family lunch on a dining table? Think about it. Another example. How many of you actually feel embarrassed that you are not been able to spend enough time with your kids in helping them in their homework? A lot of time we struggle to reach home on time in the evening. I would like to imagine a world where on a weekday, you steal an hour from office and help your kids doing their homework. You must be thinking that all these are fiction, or probably I'm talking of work from home concept going forward. Actually not. Welcome to the world of disruption. Your life, my life is about to change with some imminent technologies waiting at the doorstep to enter our lives. These technologies have a massive, massive potential to change our office and homework environment, our kids' education, our parents' well-being. These technologies, and they are not very far off. That's why I'm calling them imminent. It may happen next year, it may take 5 years, but not beyond that. These technologies will be here before most of us will retire from our offices. So today, I'll talk about a couple of those concepts which will make some of those imaginations into reality going forward. And first of these technologies which I want to talk about today is called metaverse. Metaverse. What is metaverse? In a layman's language, metaverse is a technology where users live within a digital universe. Users can be anywhere, but they can come together on a visual platform to meet, play, laugh, work, eat, and drink together. You must be seeing a picture on the left side of the screen. Looks like a typical boardroom or a meeting room. This is actually your future meeting room. Today, when you do a meeting with your colleagues, seniors, juniors, what are the options you have? If everyone is in office, you call everyone in a meeting room and then probably have a meeting face-to-face physically. Or in a remote environment, people log in into Zoom, WebEx, or Google Meet to dial in and join these meetings. This particular picture depicts a combination of these two. This is a typical meeting room which will be there in our offices once metaverse technology hits us. There are 10 or 11 people sitting in this room. They are actually not in the room. Some of them are working from home. Some of them must be on vacation or stuck in a traffic jam. But when you call for a meeting, all of them or their 3D avatar will be present in the same meeting room the way it is shown in this picture. That's metaverse. The boundaries of distances will be reduced and minimized. Wherever you are, you would be called in a virtual meeting room, have your meetings, have your discussions. Everyone can look at you or your 3D avatar. They can listen to your views. You can see they can see your reactions and then finish the meeting. That is what metaverse is going to do with us. Now, let's talk about outsourcing industry, how metaverse is going to impact outsourcing industry. See, outsourcing typically is a people's industry. We do not use too many machines. We do not use too many factory models, but it's a people industry. So any such technology is bound to have a massive impact on the way people react or people behave. So obvious to assume that metaverse will also have a significant impact on the way outsourcing industries will operate going forward. First, because of metaverse coming, outsourcing industries might be location agnostic going forward. They may not necessarily have big offices in select cities anymore. They can be distributed. They can have a small offices. People can work from home or anywhere they want to. And still, if they want to meet, they want to do employee engagement, they want to do some critical meetings, we can pull in each one of them in a meta environment and bring them in one common virtual room. Another thing, rural BPOs, and why I'm talking about this is, I strongly believe that this is going to happen very fast and in massive way. Let me give you some examples. How many of our kids today get admissions in Harvard's, IITs, and IIMs? Very few. You need almost 99+% in all your entrance exams to get there. Why? They provide quality education, but they lack infrastructure, facilities, and talent to cater to more than a certain amount of kids and students. In a metaverse world, what stops us from Harvard's, IIMs, and IITs to come to your doorstep and teach you? You don't have to go to Harvard. Harvard will come to your doorstep. Our villagers and 3-tier and 2-tier cities have no dearth of talent. What they lack is opportunities. Once these premier institutes can start conducting online classes and start delivering degrees at your homes, no reason why our villages and tier 3 cities will not be educated enough to be worked in a BPO and an outsourcing environment. In my view, that would be one of the biggest transformation which metaverse will bring, both to education as well as to corporate sector. Third thing is customer behavior and customers' expectations. Now, today there is a big debate between benefits and shortcomings of nearshore and offshore. Clearly, there is a generic belief that for Western world, offshore means less cost. and nearshore means more control. Once we come into a metaverse world, customers will start feeling less and less difference between nearshore and offshore work environment. So the mix between nearshore and offshore is bound to change once this virtual world is created and it starts coming to our offices. So these are some of the significant changes I'm expecting that metaverse will bring uh, in our lives, especially in an outsourcing industry. This will bring virtual reality to the next level. Second imminent technology which I want to talk about is blockchain. Everyone is talking about it. Everyone is talking about it. What is blockchain? Blockchain is typically a decentralized distributed ledger that records the complete trail of a digital. Today, blockchain is more related to cryptocurrencies and financial sector. Let me give you an interesting example. Wine industry. What blockchain can do to a wine industry? You get a wine bottle. There is a barcode in that wine bottle. You scan that barcode. It will tell you which retailer this wine bottle came from, which wholesaler that retailer bought that wine bottle and when, which manufacturer supplied that wine bottle to that wholesaler and when, which grape producer sold that raw material to the manufacturer and when. So typically looking at a wine bottle in your hand, you can actually trace the origin of those grapes, that whether it came from Germany or from Italy. That's the power of blockchain. Translating the same concept into outsourcing or a financial sector. The World Economic Forum estimates that by 2027, 10% of global GDP would be stored on blockchains. It's huge and it's very near. Now, let's give some transactional examples how blockchain is going to impact the outsourcing industry. A large and significant part of our outsourcing, especially in F&A field, is doing accounts payable function where you record vendor invoices, you do vendor reconciliations and customer reconciliations, and you do intercompany reconciliations. All these activities require what? They require some basic original document coming from a third party like a vendor or a customer. Reconciliations take lesser time. Getting a vendor statement from a vendor takes more time. Processing an invoice takes less time. Getting the right invoice first time from vendor takes more time. But once the blockchain is implemented, you don't have to physically receive a copy of invoice or a vendor statement or a customer statement from your stakeholders. You can access those easily through a blockchain, which is a distributed ledger. Their records are also available there and your records are also available. So once you have a common database of supplier, customer, and your own records, of course, through proper access controls, you do not have to wait for anyone to supply you the information. You can get that information whenever you want. No reconciliations, no aged items, no pending invoices, no GRI. That's the kind of impact blockchain might have on the outsourcing industry. When it happens, when these processes undergo these changes, clearly the people who are performing this process will also have to change. And that's called skill change. One of the global research suggests that today, more than 74% of our employees globally are not data literate. They are literate, of course. They have fancy degrees, but they are not data literate, more than 74%. It means they all do processing, they all do transactions, but they fail to interpret data in a right manner. Data literacy is going to be the biggest skill needed in an outsourcing industry going forward. you will not have to spend time processing a transaction. Rather, you will spend more time analyzing that transaction, analyzing those patterns, and analyzing that data. So data literacy is going to be big. Second, customers will expect you not to spend time in processing, but rather to analyze. That's going to be big. More and more staff would be required to analyze reports and analyze data rather than processing and transacting. That's the impact of blockchain which it will bring. On a people side, I predict that average employee tenure will reduce. In any case, outsourcing industry is infamous for short duration of employees in the organizations. Typically 4, 5, 6 years is considered as a good enough tenure for employees in outsourcing. In future, the employee tenure will reduce further because your entire environment, technology, processes will change so fast and so often that employees would continue to acquire new skills. If they get enough opportunities within their organization, they would do that. Else they would look out and do the role change. So you will get to see lot many employees are either changing roles very often or changing organizations very often. In fact, what I predict is more and more permanent employment will get transformed or transferred into contractual. If I am good in data science, if I am good in analytics, I would not want to spend my entire time 8 hours every day doing work for one organization. I may want to get into a consulting wherein I work for multiple organizations at the same time and provide them these kind of services. So this trend is going to increase both in India as well as in an international space going forward. And once all that happens, clearly your performance and KRA measurement will also change. This will no more be limited to meeting turnaround time and meeting accuracy levels. It will be much, much more. What value are you delivering to your customer? What kind of analysis your customer is being able to use to maximize their top line and bottom line? So these are some of the things which might change and which will change once the blockchain comes and hits the outsourcing industry. Once these changes happen, clearly your customer is smart enough. They would also start expecting change in your behavior. As I mentioned in the previous slide also, one of the demand could come from nearshore versus offshore. Their natural question would be, if you are location agnostic, you do not have to have big offices in one. Your employees can work from anywhere, be it a remote village or XYZ country, then why do you need to have offshore locations? Rather, why don't your senior people and critical people stay near to my head office, near to customer's office, and manage work from there, so that there is a proximity and there are more frequent interaction which can happen between the management and the outsourcing partner. So a lot more smaller office concept near shore might emerge because of this change. Outsourcing has been all about standardization. I mean, we have all grown up in this industry hearing that outsourcing means standardization and centralization. But as market matures, as technology matures, more and more customer would not settle for standardized processes. They would want same efficiencies, same speed, but they would want a customized solution. They would want to have a service which is suiting their individual requirements and not necessarily which is required for the entire world. Let me give you one example. And I'm sure those who have working spouse will be able to relate to it. How many times in the morning you and your spouse struggle to make breakfast in kitchen? Both of you are rushing towards office, your kids are rushing towards school, and that is the worst time to spend time in kitchen. Everyone struggles with that. What happens if there is a community kitchen surrounding, which can provide you breakfast of your choice and with good ingredients which you typically use at home at your doorstep every day? That's the kind of customization would come going forward. Customers would want this kind of specialized customized services at at their doorsteps. So standardization would be gone, customization will come. Transactions versus insights, I've spoken about it, right? It is no more about how many invoices you are able to process or how many purchase orders you are able to create or how many customer calls you are able to make. What insights you are giving back to the management as well as to the customers about the data from the data which you are handling. That would be key. And on a lighter note, there would be much more real-time involvement of customers with you. Through that 3D avatar, they can actually barge into your office in a 3D form anytime and look at your screen and ask you updates. So no more fortnightly, monthly, or quarterly reviews. These reviews can happen on a real-time basis as and when customer and you want to meet in a virtual room. So these are some of the kind of changes which will bring in customers' experience and customers' expectations going. Recently, a Vegas-based e-commerce company eliminated employee titles in favor of a manager-free holacracy. Holacracy is a phenomenon where employees do not have fixed roles, they do not have fixed responsibilities, they are flexible to take on various tasks, and there is no inter-hierarchy, interdepartmental bureaucracy that one person does a work and two others will review and third one will approve. There would be cluster of individuals who would take end-to-end responsibility of doing, reviewing, approving a particular task. So managerial bench would diminish. Reviews will diminish. Most of these activities would be accurately transacted because of technology. So less of reviews and less of supervision will happen. That's holacracy phenomenon. If that comes clearly, and again, the employee career growth will change accordingly. People would not look for vertical growth as the definition of success. Today, every team leader wants to become manager, manager wants to become director, director wants to become vice president, so on and so forth. No more rat race on designations and roles. People would be paid according to the skills and the value they add to business. Flat organizations are coming. Employees would be, whether they are 5 years or 10 years or 15 years of tenure, what value they are adding will decide how their career will move. And similarly, organization culture and L&D requirements will also change according to that. So we spoke about holacracy, we spoke about blockchain, we spoke about metaverse. Or some of you could relate to a recent announcement that they are changing the world meta. That's real, it's happening. Microsoft last week announced that, okay, they are also venturing into. In my view, these game-changing technologies and people practices will come very, very soon. I believe our generation is fortunate enough to actually see so much of change happening around us. I mean, from landlines to the metaverse environment is phenomenal to see in the lifespan of 60, 70 years. So these changes will make our next generation and our current generation more agile and more equipped with latest technology. I would believe that instead of being apprehensive of these changes, let's embrace these changes and make sure that these are beneficial to all of us and our next generations. Thank you, and wishing ET and all of you a very, very happy New Year. Thank you.